Hi guys, welcome to Interior Insights. My name is Jane and we are on Bali, and I'm probably the last person on this island who doesn't yet have Botox. Today we're going to look at an incredible small industrial Scandinavian loft. Let's jump right in, come with me. If you love industrial lofts, small space living and bohemian design, you will absolutely love this video. And actually towards the end of the video, I'm going to do a small space layout analysis, so make sure to watch the video until the end. As soon as we enter this loft, we come into the hallway area that leads us to all of the different directions of this home. And what I love about this place is that even though it is quite tight, and through really smart zoning, we have a lot of different areas and dedicated zones for every part of your day, which is really important. Now, this loft is located in the heart of Canggu, a surfer village in the south of Bali in Indonesia, and it is located in the vibrant neighborhood that is called Mexinan. And then as soon as you enter the loft, you are just really transported away into a different place in time because all of the industrial and bohemian details. And one thing that I really love about this home as soon as I stepped inside is that it really combined this like bohemian and modern atmosphere of Bali, but connected it and combined it with all of these more like industrial and rougher materials. For the floor, we have these huge wooden beams that are old, and they have all of this like marks that time has left upon them. And they have this patina. And it just gives it this very timeless aesthetic, like this place has always been here, and I really love that. Now, as soon as you enter, you just come into the space, and this space here just opens itself up in front of you. And we actually are looking at an entirely glass front. And these windows are something that is always very characteristic for the loft. And the entire facade is covered in these windows that are made from a lot of small steel frames. And it just gives it this very typical, unmistakable characteristic of a loft. And I really love these windows. They're super cool. And on the outside, you just have this entire Bali jungle coming in. And you can see the green trees moving. And it just looks really cool. Now, let me show you my favorite part of the loft, and that is over here. So over here, we have actually two different areas. Once below, we have a little writing desk and a writing area. So if you come here to do some work, you have a beautiful table that is made from one slab of marble. And it just looks so high quality, and I really love the materiality of this place. And you can even see that I think we actually have two different slabs of marble, but that they've been connected by this like golden little brass frame. So you can work here while looking out into the palm trees. And the Mexinan lamp is just a great little pop of color because the entire color palette in this loft has more earthy colors and more neutral layers with a lot of different textures. And so this pop of color really just ingests some spice and some excitement into the design. And you will see throughout this loft a lot of other little small pops of color that are just induced through the different artworks or different sculptures that you can see here. Over here, we also have a tinted mirror, and tinted mirrors are something that I also always really like because they just kind of add like a filter to your reality, and they are much more interesting than regular mirrors. Even though this is an industrial loft, you can still really see all of these more bohemian influences, like the carpet or like the mirror or some other pillows and cushions that we will see later. Because this is a loft and because it has a very open floor layout, it was really important to create different zones to just separate different areas from each other. And I think that the designers of this place did this really well by creating this natural little step onto which the bed is tucked. And this just gives the bedroom area its whole separate sense of space. And it almost feels kind of like a little room, but at the same time, it feels also much more luxurious because you are really elevated. And so here we have a single step where you can go up when you want to go to sleep. And it just creates this feeling like you're sleeping on top of the world. and you have an even better view outside the window. And it can just be really these like small little details, dedicated zones within one open living space that just make or break the design. Comment below if you like this like elevated sleeping area or not. I really like it. Hold up, wait, pause. Let's do a quick color palette analysis of this incredible loft. Now, I have to be honest, the thing that excited me the most about this home was the color palette, because it is so subtle, but at the same time so nuanced, and we can really learn a lot here. So what makes this interior so calming isn't just the structural architecture, but actually the secret lies in the color palette. So the designers built this color palette almost entirely from neutral tones. So warm woods, warm grays, soft concrete. Now on the color wheel, these colors aren't highly saturated colors. Instead, they're muted, desaturated hues that create a very quiet and calming foundation. And this is really the backbone of the color palette. But of course, without a pop of color or without visual interest, the design gets flat. And so here's what the designers did to avoid that. And that is that the real interest comes from the accents. So notice the terracotta planter or the warm mustard artwork, or of course the bright neon sign in the entryway. And all of these pops of colors sit very closely together on the color wheel. And this is exactly what creates the analogous color scheme. And then of course we have all of the green plants that sit opposite on the other side of the color wheel and kind of ingest this like tension and contrast, because it really breaks out of this like more analog color scheme. Now, because we have so many raw materials here, there's concrete, there's glass, there's steel, there also is a lot of wood. And so above the bed, we actually have these linen acoustic panels that create this gorgeous textile backdrop, but at the same time, they actually also absorb all of the echo and all of the sounds so that my voice, even though I'm a bit under the weather, sounds much nicer. And I think that this is a really great idea. So whenever you're designing a space, also make sure to think about the acoustics. Over here, we have a beautiful rattan chair that also has this very sleek Scandinavian design. And over here, we have an inbuilt niche. And so having these more like inbuilt situations like this niche are always really great ways to just create a sense of calm and space within a loft, because you see most of the parts of your home constantly. A second inbuilt situation that I really like is that here between the concrete, we have this like niche that is covered with wood at the back. And this also acts as a bedside table and as a headboard at the same time. And so you don't actually need bedside tables standing on both sides. And so you just have this very sleek design. And whenever you have this very like sleek, minimal, functional design, anything you place in it, like this gorgeous Scandinavian chair, in this position already almost looks kind of like a sculpture or something, just the way that it was placed. Of course, there also is a wardrobe, because you guys are always asking me where the people who live here put all of their things, but don't worry, they thought of that as well. So over here, we have the wardrobe. You love to accumulate things and love to go shopping like I do. This is not enough space, but I think if you are living more of a minimalist lifestyle, like the character of this loft is, then you have plenty of space. Now let me show you the bathroom before I show you the kitchen, eating, and dining room area. And you see, this is exactly what I mean. So you have this really bright pink abstract art placed on this rough, sleek concrete wall. And it just really pops and creates really like a pop of color and some excitement in the design. Over here, we have the bathroom, and the bathroom actually, careful. And the bathroom is actually super light and really bright because we have very high ceilings, so it doesn't feel too tight. It has quite the unusual design, so I'm going to show it to you in detail. So here we have the vanity with an inbuilt sink, and it is just like made from one large slab of terrazzo, and it looks really gorgeous. But it actually extends all the way over here into the shower. And I think that this is super fun because here you just have this natural shelf area. And at the same time, you have a little cactus placed. But at the same time, the entire vanity area seems much larger because of this decision. And it is just really interesting. And if I want to go into the shower, I cannot fit through here, but I actually have to go to the shower, entering this way. And I think that this is just a really unconventional, cool decision. In the bathroom, like in the other parts of the loft. And so you just have all of these like raw and honest materials layered on top of each other, and combined, they just create this very Scandi, but also very like raw, rough and industrial atmosphere. And what I also really love is, because we are like at the first floor, but also the top floor, you actually have all of these really cool skylights that just let the light flood in. I'll also show you that in the living room area, and it is really fun. So as we go into the living room area and the kitchen area, let's go outside. And as I open this door, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now through the hallway, we come to the living room area as well as to the kitchen area, and it expands on the other side of this room. And this again, I think, is quite a tight space that has a lot of overlapping functions, so that you can really just fully use it and live like you would in a much larger home. The kitchen counter is covered with one large white slab of marble, and you can see that you have everything you need. You have a small glass stove, you have a small sink, but everything is just a bit smaller in scale. But I feel like this is such a cool space, it's not really a problem. So even the kitchen shelf is made just from one steel bar, and it is really cool. And here we actually have an integrated niche for the fridge. And I love it whenever people actually think about how to integrate the fridge into their design. Now, when you're done with your cooking, you just go over here. And this area over here doubles as both a sofa area as well as a place to have your food. And then you can just sit down and enjoy the food that you've prepared for yourself. We have 2 different types of marble. And the table is really low, so that just the entire area feels much more informal. And I don't know if you've noticed this large abstract art on top. It looks super cool. I really love the different colors that it just ingests into this utterly neutral design. Another interesting architectural feature is here, this second slab of really finely grained terrazzo. And within it, we actually have a small pit with different cactuses growing from it. And this area also doubles as yet again a second table. So you can see that whenever you have a smaller space, it is really important to think about how you live your day and what spaces you actually need, and how you can integrate all of your needs into one single space. Now, if you have too many ideas and don't actually know what your needs are in your daily life, I've actually developed an interior design transformation blueprint that helps you reflect and then go on step by step and room by room to transform your space into your dream home. So go check it out if you're interested. And now to my favorite detail of this design, and that is that the ceiling is kept really rough and raw so that you can just see the entire structure. There's the different steel beams. There's the really thick, like holding structure. And then we actually have this very long and thin ceiling window that just creates this beautiful light that comes from the top. And I mean, who has a window in their ceiling these days? It is a really unique detail. Okay, guys, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to try something new. That is that we're going to analyze the layout of this tiny apartment. And if you've ever wondered why some small apartments feel spacious while others feel completely cramped, it's usually not the space or the actual size of the home, but it's the layout and the functionality that hides behind it. So the first rule is zoning. So instead of dividing this apartment into a lot of small rooms that feel very small, cluttered, and cramped, the designer actually opted for an open floor plan, but at the same time, the interior designer managed to create very clear visual zones for working, sleeping, eating, and cooking, all while maintaining this proper and open floor plan. So notice how the central storage unit does multiple things at once. So on the one hand, it provides storage, it creates privacy for the bedroom, and it separates all of the different functions without building a single wall. And now this is a really valuable lesson for any small space layout. If you can have one piece of furniture provide 2 or even 3 different functions, then that means that you're already saving so much space. The second smart move in this home is placing the work area right against the largest window. This just really optimizes the space, and all of the natural daylight and the outside view kind of seems like a natural extension of the design. And then again, on the other side of the loft, we have these overlapping functions of one single space. The seating area functions both as a sofa and living room area as well as a dining area. And then again, all of the more like functional aspects of the home, so the bathroom and the kitchen, are grouped into like one small compartment, which of course reduces plumbing, but at the same time allows the rest of the apartment to feel much more open and grand. And now here's my last takeaway, and that is that in a small space, not every single square meter and not every single inch has to be filled with furniture. I think the biggest takeaway from this loft is actually the fact that there's just so much negative space that also makes the space feel much larger than it actually is. Pause this video right now and comment down below if you like the small space breakdown and if I should continue to do them. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely like and subscribe and comment your favorite part of this video. And since we show you the best homes in the entire world every single week, come back next week and see you in the next video.